Good morning Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning to all of you listeners of the Street 919 FM. Thank you for choosing the Street 919 FM as your frequency of choice this wet Sunday morning. Wherever it is that you're taking us in, if you're looking at us on our social media platforms, Facebook or YouTube, Iwer TV live broadcast, or if you're listening to us the traditional way on your radio, good morning to all of you. If you're sitting around your kitchen table, well, breakfast is over, so you're probably preparing lunch, or lunch is almost, or you're probably finished, getting ready to have lunch. Good morning to all of you. Good morning to Mr. and Mrs. Giuseppe, Mr. and Mrs. Regis, Sharon Bruce. Good morning, all of you staff of the Street 919 FM, Mother Tuna Puna, Mano. Morning, Angie. Good morning to Miss Monica out there in Maraval. And also special greetings goes out this morning to Mr. Winston Braffett and Miss Deborah Leanne Braffett. They are celebrating their 40th wedding anniversary today. So happy anniversary to you. 40 years, wow, what a milestone. Not many people these days seem to be getting to such a milestone of 40 years, but you all have done it. So kudos to you and to your family. And we, from all of us here at the Street 919 FM, we trust that you will have an enjoyable one. And here's to many, many more wedding anniversaries. Right, so it is now 11:15 or thereabouts. And, with limited time, let us get straight into it. So today I wanted to speak on the topic of what I call convenient outrage and sanctimonious hypocrisy. Yes. And I make specific reference to the comments that I've seen and heard with respect to the exchange between Dr. Rowley and Inshan Ishmael. That was one of the trending topics over the last couple of days since Mr. Ishmael on Wednesday night on his program, Breaking Barriers, thought that, he could score one on the Prime Minister to publish the contents of what was meant to be personal correspondence between himself and Dr. Rowley. Now, as we know, Mr. Ishmael would have sent an email to several persons, of which Dr. Rowley was one, so the email wasn't sent directly to Dr. Rowley as a one-on-one, but Dr. Rowley was one of the persons, one of the recipients. And in that email, Mr. Inshan Ishmael is making allegations or insinuations with respect to a particular a particular car dealer whose services are often used by members of parliament, as Mr. Ishmael would have alluded to. And in his email, calling on the media to investigate the relationship between the Prime Minister and this fellow, who we've since learned is the managing director, CEO of HSM Motors, or whatever is the name of it. But anyway, and Prime Minister responded in a way that a lot of people find to be crass and crude and unbecoming of a Prime Minister. How low could this Prime Minister get? And and he's at this and he's at that, and oh yeah, wow. And they are ashamed to be called Trinidadians, and this man all he does every day is continue to make us to feel more embarrassed to be citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, and no other Prime Minister would ever say such a thing, as if you all know what other Prime Ministers say in the privacy and in their private spaces. Again, I repeat that this was a private correspondence between the two. But this man, Inshan Ishmael, feely bright, but calling the Prime Minister all kind of thing. Among the many names that he's called the Prime Minister, one of which is Dunce. Let me just get something here, right? He calling the Prime Minister Dunce. Okay. So I went to his Facebook page, and whole day yesterday, he only looking for articles on anything that would support his cause, because contrary to what he would have believed, he's not as popular or as liked as he thought he was. With all of the charity work that he does. Last year, in the wake of COVID, when he was organizing all these hampers and giving it out and so on, Mr. Philanthropy himself. And he was winning the praises of many, because look at what Inshan doing, and the government doing this, and the government doing that, and all kind of, typical. So, Mr. Smart Man here, right, let me pull it up here. So the owner of HSM has indicated that he has forwarded the correspondence between Dr. Rowley and Mr. Ishmael to his lawyers, so that they could look into it to see what legal action he could take. And where is it, boy? Where is it? So Mr. Ishmael, bright man, he put up a post 2 days ago. Here it says, "This is exactly why I redacted certain sections of the email sent to the PM, so no one can say I called their name. It was Rowley who the Guardian admitted gave them a copy, and they printed everything. So send all your lawyer letter to Rowley and the Guardian, please. Now all you see why I blocked it off." And this is in reference to an article in the Guardian that says man at Center of PM, Insurance Pat denies special treatment, right? Now, to speak to the depth of stupidity, you were the author of the email. You didn't send this email to Dr. Rowley alone. The first name on the list of names that you sent the email to was CNC3. The last name, the last recipient on the email thread is the Express. You did not send a redacted email to either of these and all the other people. Okay? You sent an email with the man name, the name of the company, wherever it is the man was, which board he was serving on, and so on. CNC3 is a part of Guardian Media Limited. Guardian Media Limited is the parent company for CNC3, a whole set of radio stations, and the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian newspaper, of course, is the print media, CNC3 electronic media. So this clown figure, if you sent an email to CNC3 with the man's name and all of the information, you don't think that it would end up in the Guardian? Smarty pants? So CNC3 would cover the story on the night news. You didn't think that they would send it to the Guardian too for it to be a story in the Guardian? You published the email, even if you sent it to one person. The fact is that you made an allegation against the man. So it doesn't matter if you're saying it's Dr. Rowley that gave a copy of the unredacted email to the Guardian. The Guardian would have had access to it through CNC3. So thinking that he's absolved because when he showed it on his program, he blurred out or he redacted the names and so on of the individual. When you're dotish. You all remember, I can't remember if it was last or a year before, there was another incident where Dr. Rowley had to give a few choice words via WhatsApp to Kirkwaite, Mr. Fixin TNT. And Dr. Rowley called him a certain name too, and that caused some bacchanal just like this one. And in that email exchange, reference was made, I can't remember if it was text or a voicemail, where reference was made to Rudal Munilal about his cookery, alleged cookery and so on and whatever it is by Dr. Rowley. And because of that, Rudal Munilal sent a pre-action protocol letter to Dr. Rowley because of the contents of that email where Dr. Rowley referenced him, right? Why? So it didn't matter that Kirkwaite sent the copy of the transcript from the WhatsApp to the media, so therefore that absolves Dr. Rowley because it was the private correspondence, as the case may be. And no, Rudal Munilal, seeing and hearing what was in the WhatsApp message, decided to take legal action against Dr. Rowley for his utterances, which Mr. Munilal felt was libelous. So in the same way, you clown Inshan Ishmael, you feel because you redacted on your television. The fact of the matter is there is a written transcript that was written by you that was sent to all of these different people in which you made your allegations against the man, and it is not redacted there. So that is what they would use if a case has to be brought against you in the court. You clown. But anyway, I just wanted to touch on that before I get to the meat of the matter, as they say. So everybody decided that they wanted to put in their 2 pence in this matter, not the least of which was Senior Counsel Israel Khan. Yes, Mr. Khan decided to send a letter or to pen an op-ed in the Express condemning Dr. Rowley. And the title of the article is, well, the op-ed was "Shame on You, Dr. Rowley." Now, there's so many things wrong with this particular letter that was sent by Mr. Ishmael. And for those of you who may not have read it, permit me to read it this morning for you. And it says, "I take this opportunity to vociferously condemn Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, for telling a citizen to kiss my ass. Prime Minister Rowley admitted in the print media that in an email exchange, he told Inshan Ishmael to kiss my ass." I read it as it is. That's what he has here. And it does not matter what provocation emanated from Incha and Ishmael. A prime minister's character and personality must be made of sterner stuff. And if he wanted to put the man Incha and Ishmael in his place, he could have emulated the example of the late father of the nation, Dr. Eric Williams, who in reference to the mighty Choctaw stated, "Let the jackass bray." I call upon Mrs. Rowley and her two well-brought-up, educated daughters to rope in Prime Minister Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley by putting some sense into his senseless head. This outrageous, vulgar outburst is rotten and debased behavior for a Prime Minister. Is this the example he is setting for the young, impressionable minds of our nation, the school children? Mr. Prime Minister, I say to you that you have brought shame and disgrace upon the heads of your wife, two loving daughters, sons-in-law, and grandson. They are exemplars of proper behavior and deportment for all citizens to emulate. You're waxing poetic there, boy Israel. But you are bringing the quality of proper behavior into disrepute and odium, and I cry shame on you. You are a selfish man and do not care whether your behavior hurts your immediate family. You must always have your own way in everything you say and do. I've heard it whispered very loudly, which I do not believe, that you, Dr. Rowley, have decided to retire from public life and politics at the end of your current term as Prime Minister. But that does not give you the right to publicly display such vulgar and debased behavior by telling a citizen to kiss your ass. I am sure you are the first Prime Minister in the Commonwealth to publicly and disgracefully behave in such a manner. Well, first of all, it wasn't public, Mr. Senior Counsel. It was private correspondence. Apparently, you missed that. Just like you missed the potential conflict of interest in respect of the email gate matter when the man who was serving as what was he, boy? A consultant in your chambers. A few months before he was appointed the chair of the Integrity Commission. Several months prior to that, he was serving as a consultant in your chambers, where you were serving as the lawyer to Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisesa in the Emailgate matter, which Emailgate matter had to be investigated when this goodly gentleman was then appointed head of the Integrity Commission, and you saw no conflict of interest there. And we, the public, are to believe that in those few months leading up to his appointment, where he didn't know he was going to be appointed, that there was no discussion between you, Kamla Prasad Bisesa's lawyer in the matter, and himself on the topic at all. We are to believe that. Okay? But it seems things conveniently miss you. But I continue. Shame, shame, shame on you. Not on your immediate family. Shame on you. Over the last 3 to 4 years, I started to suspect that our Prime Minister's personality, metaphorically speaking, is akin to that of an Oreo cookie. Oreo cookie, apparently black on the outside, but really white on the inside. And I submit that this is not a racist statement. Oh, really, Mr. Israel Khan? Well, all right. The Oreo cookie expression originated in the US to describe a house slave's personality. A black man who believes as if he is now living in Massa House, aping all the mannerism and characteristics of his former master. Now, I take issue with that word aping. Some people might say I'm being melodramatic. There are other words that Mr. Khan could have used there. He could have said mimicking the mannerisms, copying the mannerisms, but he felt it appropriate to put aping all the mannerisms. Okay. And if our Prime Minister needs further clarification as to what really is an Oreo cookie, he can view the movie Django Unchained, starring Jamie Foxx, on Netflix. I remind our Prime Minister that he enjoys the status of primus inter pares, first among equals, with the political leadership of our country. His status ranks very high with the President of our country, the Chief Justice, and the President of the Senate. And to tell a citizen to kiss my AS is not only unbecoming, it is vulgar, disgraceful, and it brings the office of the Prime Minister into disrepute and odium. And as an aside, it is no wonder our former Prime Minister, Patrick Manning, warned the country that oftentimes his cabinet colleague, Dr. Keith Rowley, behaved as a wajang, and he became a raging bull when he did not get his own way with his political colleagues. I thus call on our Prime Minister, who represents a decent and civilized and well-beloved citizenry of our country and others. Also, he doesn't represent the uncivilized, those who aren't decent and so on. So he only represents one section of the society. All right. To offer a public apology for telling a citizen to kiss the organizations and leaders in the country who are molding the minds of the nation's children must publicly condemn the Prime Minister. the PTA, the principals of our primary and secondary schools, the religious leaders in the country, the Minister of Education, and all other relevant bodies must come down on Prime Minister Rowley as a united ton of Waratah boulders and bury his vulgarity. Shame on you, Prime Minister. You owe all of us in this country a public apology. So says Israel Khan. Now, I have issues with a lot in that term. You see that part about calling the Oreo cookie. I don't understand what was the necessity to bring. How is that tied into the issue with Mr. Ishmael and the Prime Minister? Right? That you, senior counsel, well-respected attorney in this country, somehow found a way to fit in that Oreo cookie. Or is it that this is something that you wanted to say for the longest while and you thought you'd use this opportunity? To me, it is totally irrelevant to the issue at hand, but that is for a discussion on another day. But he expresses concern that the Prime Minister has brought shame on his family, his wife, his daughters, his sons-in-law, his grandchild, and so on. I wonder if Mr. Khan ever saw it fit to send out an op-ed in any of the newspapers, taking into consideration how the Prime Minister's wife, daughters, sons-in-law, he also left out the Prime Minister has sons too, Christopher, Garth, yes, and his grandchildren, how they must feel when they go on social media, as I'm sure they are, and they see memes, pictures of human feces with the Prime Minister's face superimposed on it, when they see lives being shared from Inchan Ishmael calling the Prime Minister cornholio, lalpagar, fool, idiot, donkey, clown, moron, megalomaniac, egomaniac, consummate dunce, consummate ass, all of these things. That's just a few of the things that he has called the Prime Minister over several lives. I wonder if Mr. Israel Khan ever saw these lives and considered how must the Prime Minister's family feel seeing their loved one being denigrated by members of the public. How does he feel when about them when he sees a video with a little child, probably 3, maybe 2, 3 years old, taken to a petting zoo, and the adult who is with them points to a mule, a donkey, and says to the child, "Who is that?" And the child says, "Rowley, Rowley." I wonder if he ever considered how Dr. Rowley's immediate family must feel when they see these things. When they know that he is doing the best that he can with what he has to run the country. But because some people just don't like the man for whatever reason, I'm not going to proffer a reason, but you all big and you have sense. How he was ever concerned about that to send a letter to call on the citizens of this country who are against Dr. Rowley and the PNM. If you don't respect the office holder, at least to exercise respect for the office. No, you're not concerned about that, so you'll probably see it and laugh. Oh boy, right, and you bypass it. But Dr. Rowley uses a particular term in private correspondence, and you vex, and you calling down shame on the Waratah boulders, wherever that is, right? As if you, Mr. Khan, and others who want to pontificate, as I call you all, you sanctimonious hypocrites, as if you all don't use these terms in private. Inchan Ishmael is a public figure. You're trying to tell me that in private spaces that you don't use worse than that? Half all here who complaining and calling all the Prime Minister all kind of thing, oh, he's classless and he's crass and he's crude and he's this and that, the other and the next. I bet if we pull up some of your WhatsApp messages between friends, family, you will see worse than that. Go into all your albums, your photo albums in your phone, and you probably see some of the nastiest videos and nastiest pictures, but all of a sudden you all are upstanding citizens qualified to call to heap coals on the Prime Minister. As if, really? Now, I am not here today to defend Keith Rowley. He doesn't need me to defend him. I've met the man twice in my life, and I'm sure if I meet him up now, he probably wouldn't remember. But that's all right. He could defend himself. But what I want to call out today, as I said, is the rank hypocrisy, the convenient outrage. Right? Where is this thing? Let me see. Right, I hope this behaves today. 1, 2, 3, 5. So Mr. Khan references in his missive, the leaders who, let me see if I get it here. He's calling on the organizations and leaders in the country who are molding the minds of the nation's children to publicly condemn the Prime Minister. I wonder if those leaders include Kamla Persad-Bissessar. I wonder if those leaders he's referencing includes Watson Duke. I wonder if it includes Philip Alexander. I wonder if it includes Ansel Roger. All of these people, the leaders in society and so on. All of these upstanding folks. And Dr. Rowley is the lowest of the low. Can't get no low. He lower than the white line in the road because in private correspondence he tell this man what to kiss. Well, all right. Permit me. Let me get this here. I hope the internet behaves. Let us listen to the leader of the opposition. The Prime Minister in waiting, former Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar. Right? Because some of the people who, or the majority of them, who cussing out, saying all kind of thing about Dr. Rowley and calling him all kind of names and he's unfit to be Prime Minister. Supporting leaders who have said things in the past that is even more egregious than what they consider what Dr. Rowley said to be. Far more. But did they say anything back then? No. Finger on your lip, your mouth have a zip, eh? You nothing to say. So when Kamla says her stuff that is unfit with respect to the office that she holds, listen, why Kamla so, boy? Kamla, you see that, boy? Yeah. I don't want to say what this over now. Yeah. Dr. Rowley says something. I know he's the scum of the earth. And members of the UNC? Same thing, people supporting Watson Duke. Watson Duke mouth like her anyway. Yeah. Well, I'll play him just now. In the interest of time, again, I'm going to have to take some of your call time. But let's just get straight into it, right? Let me play this one first.
Is to allow for illegal tapping to become legal. As we said before, we will not support it. Mako my bill from Mako my man to Mako the people of Trinidad and Tobago. It's not a bill that I can see in a democracy such as ours that we would want to support.
Let me play that again, in case some of you all missed it, in case you went in your fridge and you're trying to get a red shandy from your fridge and you missed it. Let me play it again. That's the leader of the opposition.
Bill that is coming is to allow for illegal tapping to become legal. As we said before, we will not support it. Mako my bill from Mako my man to Mako the people of Trinidad and Tobago. It's not a bill that I can see in a democracy such as ours that we would want to support. Bill that is coming is to allow for illegal tapping to become legal. As we said before, we will not support it. Mako my bill from Mako my man to Mako the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Makome bill from Makome men to Mako the people of Trinidad and Tobago. What's that? Makome men? Okay. What is that? What is that? Well, when I decided to look up the meaning of the word, under the Urban Dictionary, it defines Makome men as being chichi men. Other terms that is not radio friendly, but all you big and have sense and know the usual term or the usual context in which that term is used. A Makome bill from Makome men to Mako the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Did Mr. Israel Khan write a letter calling for the Waratal boulders to be brought down on the head of Kamla Persad-Bissessar? Did he? Did he cry shame on Kamla Persad-Bissessar when she said that in public? Because here she's being interviewed by members of the media. A public place. This is not private. So this was carried on the evening news. So I'm certain that Mr. Khan might have seen it. But did he have an issue with it? Did Mrs. Persad-Bissessar bring shame on Dr. Bissessar and her son Christian and her grandkids when she said that? All right. Let me go again. Let's know. come on, 2 minutes.
Now, if you all have any idea, when last you went down and watching a bank and see man lining up to get what, 100 US or 200 US, and therefore, the Minister Stuart Young, they should come by your daughter. Now, if you all have any idea, when last you went down and watching a bank and see man lining up to get what, 100 US or 200 US, and therefore, the Minister Stuart Young, they should come by your daughter.
Minister Stuart Young, they should come by your daughter. Where she said that? In the parliament, while she was delivering her response to the budget last year. Minister Stuart Young, they should come for your daughter. Such parliamentary language, such parliamentary behavior, yes? And you see her colleagues next to her? We praise that, eh? And we pound the desk for that. That is behavior becoming of a prime minister, a former prime minister and leader of the opposition. Yes. We give that a clap because, hey, Israel Khan is our attorney, right? He had no problem with that. Yes, that is the type of behavior we like to see in the parliament. When the kids watching, that's what we're telling them to do. So, anybody tell you something, they get say what to do, bring the family into it. Tell them about their mother, their father, their sister and brother. That's all right. That is parliamentary behavior. Where the letter to the Express for that, Mr. Khan? It in your outbox. You sent it, but for some reason your email was down and it didn't reach. I go again. So, Dr. Rowley also told Mr. Ishmael Khan to go to hell. Inshan Ishmael, go to hell, right? All right. And people have issue with that. We going again.
Response to the Prime Minister's remarks linking UNC's members to whorehouses in South Trinidad. She has accused him of befriending the owner of an establishment where illegal migrants were found.
Opposition leader Kamla Persad-Bissassa has this message for the Prime Minister.
Shameless, not shame, shameless. Your Attorney General fraternizing, and you want to talk about the opposition, UNC? Man, go to hell.
Last Thursday, the Prime Minister said he didn't.
Was that she just told the Prime Minister to do what? Go to hell? So Keith Rowley, in private correspondence to Inshan Ishmael, tell him go to hell. Oh God, he's the worst thing ever. The worst Prime Minister ever. How can we tell a man go to hell? Ordinary citizen to go to hell. But the leader of the opposition, former Prime Minister, and the so-called Prime Minister in waiting, telling the Prime Minister, go to hell. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. No, that is the type of behavior that we expect of our leaders. Not so, Mr. Israel Khan? Because I don't recall seeing anything from you crying shame on that either. All right? Okay. All right. Going again. That was leader number 1. Let's listen to leader number 2. This one I call King Hypocrite. All right? Listen to this one. And I hope this thing behaves. Come on. Really? All right, folks. I don't know, the internet just not behaving today at all, and I really need to play this. All right, let me try this again. All right. If not, I'll have to play it from my phone. So one sec, people. Right, that's one of the challenges of technology these days. So we heard there from the leader of the opposition. That was one leader, right? And of course, I'm referencing leaders here based on Mr. Khan's letter that I read for you all earlier on. Let me see if it is the internet is willing to play ball. No, I really don't have time. All right, let's try this again. Come on, man, you're doing my internet. Shoot, come on. Right, I guess I'll have to do this on my phone. No problem. Where there's a will, there's a way. Bear with me, one sec, people, just now.
Enough said on that. Facebook, Tobago, Trinidad. What I'm reading, what I'm hearing is very, very troubling. I repeat, Trinidad, Tobago, what I'm reading and what I'm hearing is very troubling. The Bible says, out of a good heart, a man does bring forth good things. Out of an evil heart, a man does bring forth evil things. Have you all ever stopped to consider the heart of our Prime Minister, the mind of our Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley? What type of heart, what type of mind Trinidad and Tobago would tell somebody, if your cat bark at my dog, I'm going on a particular road of cat and dog? What kind of Prime Minister will tell somebody, if I had on my shit, kick your boots, I would have so and so? And those are public statements carried in the media, public statements. When he spoke about my dog and your cat and my dog, he was speaking about a woman, the opposition leader. When he spoke about, if I want me kick your boots, he was speaking about Dr. Ronald Munilao. He's on media, he's talking about SOE. He goes on to say that if all the behave all ourselves and thing, then the SOE might ease up. But that wasn't all. Our Prime Minister, who was a dignified public position, went on to tell the whole nation, do jackass is seen. I didn't laugh at that. Some media people use it as a joke. That was no joke. Do jackass is seen. Because I know when children are young and you think that they will be growing things out, they do not grow them out, they grow them in. I know that when people reach a particular age, they can't change, they fix. Only God could change them. Hence, the Bible says a leopard cannot change his spots, neither an Ethiopian his skin. Regardless how much a person bleach, the skin will still remain the same color. They may damage the pigmentation, but the skin remains the same color. And a leopard, for his own self, cannot change his spots. So it is a man cannot fix himself, except God fix him. The Prime Minister cannot change. He need God. He need baptism. He needs some type of a spiritual help. When a man could tell, when a Prime Minister could tell another person on social media, kiss my, you know what? Kiss my, you know what? Kiss my A. Someone said, kiss my A. He has reached the lowest of low. And I'm talking here to Trinidad and Tobago as a young person, as a person who also is a public figure, as a fellow Tobagonian. It hurts me when I see the man that we have out there as a Prime Minister, and this is not personal, misrepresenting himself, misrepresenting Tobago, misrepresenting Trinidad, misrepresenting the PNM. I'm saying it is time that we condemn his attitude. We must condemn him. The PNM Women's Group must condemn Dr. Rowley. His colleagues in Parliament must condemn him. I know he's a bully. I know you cannot resist him, according to Patrick Manning, because the moment you resist him, he said become completely out of control. But you have to put pressure on him. You have to force him. You cannot write on social media to a man, kiss my A. That is a dirty hole. You recall that some years ago, maybe 2 years ago, when I made a statement to everybody, and I told him, shut just, and I said it to him. People condemn me. They said, Watson, why are you talking to the Prime Minister in that kind of way? Why are you using that kind of word to the Prime Minister? Respect the man office. But folks, I just know what they be saying. I know what I say. I'm a spiritual man. What I said is what I know to be true, and what he has proven this morning to be true. The man mouth is, you know what? I'm not going to repeat it. But the man mouth is definitely, you know that is the natural. When you could tell somebody that and write it yourself, kiss my A. The man have a mouth, a foul mouth. Dirty language must not be tolerated from public figures. It's an insult. When the British Prime Minister pull up the papers and he see our Prime Minister is saying that this is a ghetto. What is this? Not even in ghetto you find that. What kind of tongue is this? When the United States President pulls up the papers to read and they see your Prime Minister, how will they interact with him? It is the worst of crime when a man could drag himself so low and see nothing wrong with it. But more so when those around him see the king is naked and say nothing about his nakedness. I say it's time the PNM condemn his approach. He's unfit to lead the PNM. This is why Tobago has rejected him and continue to reject him on sundry occasion. I want to move a little bit from that. Enough said on that.
Right, that is Mr. Duke. Watson Duke, you hear what he say there? All of a sudden, he can't use the A word. It is beneath him. Well, the Prime Minister could use that. He's low and crass. He must be condemned. What is in a man's heart? If it's good, good will come out. If it's evil, evil will come out, eh? And Watson? Alright, the ad's coming up. We come back on the other side. I'm going to play the other side of Watson. Stay locked. We'll be right back.
Save with Green Dot. When you subscribe to any of our broadband packages, you get 30% off the installation fee, allowing you to stream your favorite shows on any of your devices. Update your social media accounts and connect with friends and family. Stay on top of the class with online learning sessions. Or keep your team in the loop with virtual meetings, all at an affordable price. This is a limited time offer, so don't wait. Call 224-G-DOT today to sign up and save with Green Dot, improving and simplifying lives.
Early Christmas morning. Christmas morning. A man and the wife end up in a fight, cause out left and right the man feel she horning. She horning. He tell she do darling, it's Christmas time. You bring me gift from your heart, I bring from mine. Anything you want, honey, I will spare a dime. Tell me what you want for Christmas. Tell me what you want for Christmas. She said, I want clothes, I want shoes. Don't pick up nothing, honey. I want shoes, I
Dr. Phil.
Oh, Christmas morning, I want hear them calling so. And I want that, I want this, and I want that. You bring your ham and sorrel, we bring the shak shak and quattro. I want this, and I want that. I want this, and I want that. What you want, what you want, what you want, what you want, what you want. Ayo. Causing plenty pain and suffering early Christmas morning. Christmas morning. People want to know what causing it wrong, whether it's issue or a misunderstanding. Misunderstanding. The man make up to his wife and apologize. Go and make she breakfast as a surprise. Wifey meet him in the kitchen as soon as she rises. He said like an angel send you. Tell me what you want on the menu. She said, I want hops, I want ham, I want sorrel, I want jam, I want turkey, I want man. The man say, I'm fed up here about this, I want man, best I let him marry to you. Oh, Christmas morning, I want how your name calling so. I want this, yes, I want that, I want this, and I want that. You bring your ham and sorrel, we bring the shak shak and quattro. I want this, and I want that, I want this, and I want that. What you want, what you want, what you want, what you want, what you want. Ayo. Baila. Spara. They say Georgia causing too much bacchanal in the place. They say Georgia causing too much bacchanal in the land. They say Georgia causing too much bacchanal in the house. They say Georgia causing too much bacchanal in the street. Early Christmas morning. Christmas morning. Baila. Spara. Iwer.
Tune in to the Street 919 FM every Friday from 9:15 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. with Kingdom Health Services, situated at number 91 Eastern Main Road in St. Augustine. For the program Health and Healing, merging the old with the new with Brent Diet. For more information, call 318-7471 or 484-0141 or 360-4100. It's all about Kingdom Health Services on the Street 919 FM.
It's Extra Foods, plenty for 20 budget bargains. Top Shelf Ramen, 9 for $20. Carrots, 1 pound pack, 6 for $20. Joe Sing Noodles, 6 for $20. Golden Bread Margarine, 3 for $20. Chef Made Vinegar, 5 for $20. Soldanza Potato Chips, 7 for $20. O Snacks Double Nut Canola Bars, 5 for $20. And Gala Apples, 10 for $20. So many great plenty for 20 specials. And sale runs from October 24th to October 4th. Extra Foods, always extra for less.
Hi, what's up, TNT? This is Wayne Johnson out of Brooklyn, New York. I always wanted to do something back home, and we're going to be doing our gospel segment on Mondays from 10 p.m. to 12 midnight. That's 10 p.m. to 12 midnight on 91.9 FM. Listen what I want you to do. Spread the word. Spread the word, TNT. Salvation, full and free. Salvation is for everybody. Mondays from 10 p.m. to 12 midnight. That's 10 p.m. to 12 midnight on 91.9 FM.
Police, good day. Officer Best Price here. Johnny Q Auto Parts Division.
Yes, sir.
I'm here to investigate an assault on batteries.
Excuse me, sir?
Is it true you have batteries selling for $488?
Yes. Power Master, Optima, Vata, and Megastar batteries.
So I could buy a battery for $488?
Yes, sir. For cars, trucks, and boats. Backed and distributed by Massey Automotive.
Which part?
Right here at Johnny Q Hardware and Auto Parts Division, 15 Arrowbita Avenue, Woodbrook. And our new Johnny Q Superstore, located at Lowlands Mall off Cloud Commonwealth Highway in Tobago. You could call 60 Tools.
Alright, thanks boss. Nah man. Granny, do you have $488 to lend me?
If you're experiencing pain, constipation, headaches, poor blood circulation, high or low blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, swollen or darkened feet, come visit us at Health and Wealth Lifestyle, located at 73 Eastern Main Road, Barataria, opposite Eastern Credit Union. We at Health and Wealth Lifestyle offer a wide range of services. Come and experience our new 3D analyzer, which allows you to have a look inside your body. We also provide live blood analysis, iridology, ionic foot detox with foot soak and foot massage, aquatherapy, full body massage, and organic supplements on sale such as Nano Silver, Nano Zinc, Body Light, cold pressed sesame oil, and more. Health and Wealth Lifestyle, located at number 73 Eastern Main Road, Barataria, opposite Eastern Credit Union. For more information, call 275-8359 or 288-1108.
Share the live. Share the live. The Street 919 FM on Facebook and Instagram. Share the live. Iowa George on Instagram. Share the live. Iowa TV and Street TV on YouTube. Share the live. The Street 919 FM.
Welcome back. Thank you for staying locked to the Street 919 FM. Let's get right back into it. All right. So before we went to the break, I played Mr. Duke. That was his response to the interaction between Dr. Rowley and Inshan Ishmael. And, he's so concerned. He can't even bring himself to use the A word. He's so hurt. He's appalled. He feels violated and dirty at reading what Dr. Rowley wrote. Violated and dirty. I wonder if that's how the young lady felt in the room in Hyatt. Violated and dirty. But that's a talk for another time. Let's listen to Mr. Duke and how you should behave. His example of how Dr. Rowley should behave. Let's listen.
Pray to God, Rowley, that we don't win those 2 seats and we don't become kingmakers. I can tell you something tonight. I will make sure I dig up every single file on you and I will lock your ass up. I will lock your ass up, Rowley. These are my last words tonight. Understand that? I'm making it plain. I will hunt you like a dog. And I will lock you up tonight, Rowley. You don't love me. You don't love my family. You don't love my family. I have some words from other people too. These are my last words. I don't long tonight. On the Facebook, there's some dirty stinking girls. One name Melanie. What's my Lord? These are my last words. I'm business tonight. These are my dirty stinking girls. Melanie, Robert, Rajman. I know them, They want to stink on my name. I ain't going along with it. And next one named Franca. Dirty stink, I want to sit up here again in court. You will have a day in court. And when I take you in court, I put a senior counsel, produce all the evidence. Have you ever seen? Folks, these are my last words today, because tomorrow I can't talk to you.
दो पार्टियां गई थी आज तक तो एक रह गई इधर है से लगा है वहां पे गाड़ी लगी खड़ी हुई follow चलो जी sit down.
Right, you all heard that, right? Now, if it is that before we went to the break, you went to the fridge, I can't help you. I can't replay because we don't have the time. But hear what he planned to do to Dr. Rowley. Had he won the 2 seats and he became kingmaker, you see what he was planning to do? What he was going to lock up? Dr. Rowley ankle? That's what he said? He's going to lock up Dr. Rowley elbow? No. What he said? He was going to lock up Dr. Rowley kneecap? His neck? What part of his anatomy he was planning to lock up that he can't say no? Oh, no, I can't say that A word. The man mouth, Dr. Rowley mouth, dirty. I can't even say the word dirty. Huh? All right. And Watson? Yes, all of a sudden, you are Mr. Sanctimonious. There you go again.
My wife to sell Penacool and or equal drive a cool in Tobago, but I will drive a cool at all. Sell Penacool, Kumar and Sugar Kick by the road. And even my wife to do. Have this nasty man Gonzalez gonna watch your face look like. I can't tell you. He's a wannabe kind of fella. He doesn't fit him well. When I watch his low life Gonzalez, you have to fear You have to fear Watson Duke. The PNM women's group. Where was the women's group in the PNM? They are no women's group. They are 8 group. That red group in the 12 parent, headed by a bald-headed woman. She is not a woman. She's not a woman. Because at the young age of 33, I defeated that dragon witch called the devil and Satan and took over the PSA. I took over the PSA at the young age of 33. Defeated a witch called the devil and Satan, who was a PNM stooge and PNM Minister of Labor. Destroyed that woman completely. Wipe her legacy off the map. Every day she uses a long voice, long like a mango sauce. Watson! You should long voice, I'm in war mode today, folks. I'm in war mode today. And here come to pet and powder nobody. No baby powder has been used today. No amnins powder. It's been used to. It's a different type of powder be using on them. The powder them boys are using Laventille and Bad Street and beat them. That's the powder be using on them. Those that you will find in the police barracks. That's the powder we using today. Not amnins powder. Bring up on the street, this Makubi man call our Sanders. That's what you doing. Going around sneaking you. Trying to create trouble. Trying to create bacchanal. Here this next Makubi man, Basanto, Crescent, whatever you want to call their name is.
Right. That was Mr. Duke. You all heard him before we went to the break, right? Oh my gosh. I can't say these words. I can't repeat it. One time when I said Dr. Rowley had a stink mouth, but I can't say that now. Can't. Why can't I do that? Because, no, I am not like Keith Rowley. Keith Rowley's mouth is filthy. Mine is not. And I will demonstrate to you all how it is Keith Rowley should behave. This, now, mind you, the clip I played before, when he was telling us what part of Dr. Rowley's anatomy he planned to lock up if he had won the 2 seats in Tobago and he had become kingmaker. There we say. That was before the THA election in January. So, had he won those 2 seats, and let's say in Trinidad it was 2019 and he had the 2 seats to form the government, probably he would have been Prime Minister today. That was before, that clip was before the general election of 2020, right? And he was demonstrating to you how a Prime Minister should behave, calling women stink and dirty. But in that same, the last clip I now played there for you, earlier on he talks about how he loves women. His wife is a woman and his daughter is a woman and his mother is a woman, and everybody know Watson Duke love woman and woman love Watson, and Watson would never do nothing to no woman and treat no woman bad. But apparently he have no love for Franca and Melanie because Franca and Melanie stink and dirty. According to he, I didn't say, he said it. But that is how you behave. Or is it that wasn't Watson Duke we listened to? That was his cousin, his brother. You have a twin, a long lost twin. Can't say the word. Today. Yesterday was yesterday and today is today. Yeah. But after saying that, he went from 2 seats in the THA to 6. And they went from about 4,000 votes to over 12,000. Why? Because people in Tobago apparently like that kind of thing. Like the kind of talk. But the same people who support that and give him 6 seats and over 12,000 votes is the same people who want to tell you today Keith Rowley is a low and crass, and Keith Rowley is a low life, and he mouth nasty, and he's a wajang because in private correspondence with Inshan Ishmael, he tell Inshan what part of his anatomy to kiss. We have a problem with that. But what we just played there, you have a problem with that. No, we will give Watson 6 seats because that will be like. We're going again. Who's the next one I have on my list? The internet playing with me today. Forgive me, people. Right, let me get this one here. I only have a couple more. I know I'm anxious to call the phone only ringing off the hook, but come on, Bly. Where is this next one? Right. Listen to this one. Right, let me get it here. All right.
Have you committed to do better to make changes for the people of Trinidad and Tobago? We had no idea that you don't want the job, you know. So you better change that around. But I'm hearing, comrades, and I'm going to break the news to you here today. They're talking it in hushed tones. I'm hearing that this Prime Minister is a lazy son of a bitch, and that he depends on all those incompetent. He said that to them. We had no idea that you don't want the job, you know. So you better change that around. But I'm hearing, comrades,
Right, that was Ansel Roger. Yes, OWTU leader. He's one of the leaders that Mr. Israel Khan talking about molding the minds of the young ones in this country, and therefore he too must join in condemning Dr. Rowley. Did Mr. Khan send out an email to the media to condemn what you just heard there? That union leader called the Prime Minister what? A son of a gun? Was that it? I probably hear something wrong with my hearing this morning. I hearing things. A son of a gun, you say, right? All right, no problem. I have one more for you. I have a few more, but unfortunately, time will not permit. Let me get this last one here. Right. This is the political leader of the People's Empowerment Party, the PEP, Philip Edward Alexander. The man who you cannot listen to a lie from Philip Edward Alexander without wanting to go to confession afterwards or to do penance. When you finish listening to a lie from this man, you want to engage in self-flagellation. You want to take a belt and beat yourself. Because this man can't do a live without profanities, laced with profanities of all sorts. He uses the C word and the F word with gay abandon. No regard, right? He's a strong supporter of Trumpian-style politics. And you know, when I went on this man's Facebook page to see what was his views with respect to the exchange between Inshan Ishmael and Dr. Rowley, and I read the comments under his, because he condemned Dr. Rowley too, but when I read the comments under his post, if I wasn't convinced before, I am certain, or you know they have a saying that there are more mad people on the outside than on the inside, I am convinced. Imagine, you have a whole set of people who supporting this man, saying all kind of thing about Dr. Rowley, that he's a lowlife and he's unfit to be Prime Minister and he's an embarrassment to Trinidad and Tobago and they're ashamed, he makes them ashamed to be citizens of this country because of that exchange. Right? But then, in the same tone, same thing, all lifting up Philip Alexander. Yeah, Philip for Prime Minister. Philip Edward Alexander for Prime Minister. This man who cussing like a drunken sailor come ashore with no regard, right? That is who you all want as Prime Minister. But criticizing Keith Rowley? Only for real? I tell you, really, no wonder this country is in the state that it is in today. Real mad people. Listen to this.
Singh said that in the coming months, only vaccinated people will have access to things like malls and supermarkets and things. So here what I want to tell Terrence Singh, take the malls and the supermarkets and push it up your ass. I want to tell you tonight.
That's the clean part. You heard? I'm not going to repeat it. But you heard. Tell Terrence Singh to take the malls and put it where? In his mouth? In his nostrils? To put it where? Put it up in his eyeball? Is that what he said? What part of his anatomy did he just say? Right? So you heard from Kamala, you heard from Watson, you heard from Philip Alexander, you heard from Ansel Roger. As I said, I had plenty more to play by the internet, not supporting me today. But none of these people, Israel Khan didn't see it fit to write any missive to the media to condemn them and what I just played. And that's just a little snippet of some of the things that these folks have said. But that's all right. They could say it. They have no problem with that. But Keith Rowley say it. Oh gosh. The Waratal boulders rain down on him. And Mr. Khan, Senior Counsel, Mr. Sanctimonious. Really? Ah, boy. I tell you, Trinidad and Tobago, sanctimonious hypocrites, all of them. All the members of the literati who want to criticize the Prime Minister. I remember who say, hush your stink mouth. Tell a member of Parliament to hush his stink mouth. In the precincts of the Parliament chamber. That is parliamentary behavior. That is the example we want to set for the young people who looking at the Parliament channel in preparation for the youth Parliament to get ideas as to how they should debate. And when they look at the Parliament, what they see? Kamala Prasad Bisesa telling Stuart Young, Mr. Minister Young, they should come for your daughter. What we have Mr. Munilal, Member of Parliament for Oropuch East, telling the Attorney General, shut your stink mouth. Telling the Minister of, he was Minister of National Security then, Mr. Hines, snake have lead for you. And that is parliamentary behavior. Put up a banner in Oropuch, hide your children from Keith Rowley. We clap that. And yes, yes, that's how we're supposed to behave. No condemnation for that. But condemn Keith Rowley. Well, you're sick. And then have the audacity to say the Prime Minister need a mental checkup. Really? Plenty ole. Really? Seems the line for that mental checkup will be real long. But I just want to say to Mr. Israel Khan, I don't have the time here, right? In respect to that missive, and those of you, I can't read it over, but you all could go and look shame on Keith Rowley, wherever it is. It was in the Express. Go and look it up. I just want to say to him today, Dr. Rowley invited Mr. Inshan Ishmael to kiss a certain part of his anatomy. Well, let me tell you, Dr. Rowley have 2 butt cheeks. One is sufficient for Mr. Ishmael. You have a spare one. You're big and you have sense. Figure it out. 3420081 46693 5391. We're going to meet this morning, boy. Seriously? All right, let me see what I have here. Hello, good morning. Good afternoon, sir.
Dominic, brother boy.
Yes, sir.
Good afternoon, Dominic. Yes, brother. Dominic, as I said to a talk show host yesterday, could Satan correct sin, boy? These fellas want to do the impossible as a soul people, deceit and hypocrisy. We could export that to countries abroad and get foreign and U.S. exchange. What about the press release by Mrs. Bissessa about the vaccine vagrant and looking tacky and all this disparaging remarks towards Dr. Rowley? What about when they lock up a man in a cage down in Diego Martin and say they lock up a dog with Dr. Rowley name on it, New Jersey? What about all that? What about all that same Israel sat down and interviewed him and saying that the Prime Minister wants to have sex with Mrs. Bissessa? These fellas are disgusting. These fellas have no credibility. What they are missing is commission of inquiry that the government does dole out wholesale. This government is not doing it. So certain lawyers could make their money. And that is what they can't play with Dr. Rowley's head. Their bottom line have been affected by the governance of Dr. Rowley. So all them hypocrites, all them, I will call them despots. Those are non-issue. The next one, Watson Duke. The most disgusting human being, bamboo mouth, the bamboo, who have no class. But Dominic, I'll give somebody else a chance. Dominic, as I say, certain attorneys, senior counsel, financial bottom line have been affected by this government not doing out, commissioning inquiries all over the place. What was done under Mr. Manning and Mrs. Bissessa, where they could eat a nice food. And that's the problem they have with Dr. Rowley. The gravy train has finally dried up. Take that, Israel.
Thank you, sir. Hello, good afternoon.
Good day, Dominic.
Hi.
Dominic, you know what I have to say this morning? All the genuine PNM people stand up with Dr. Rowley. Let me stand up 1,000,000% with him. That's what I have to say this morning. I listen to all of them. I listen to all the tapes that they play. And all of them, I don't know how they take it. And the word that Dr. Rowley had used, what Mr. Ishmael put up, it's spelled A-R-S-E-L. I think I never know how to spell it A-R-S-E-L. Okay? Have a blessed day, Dominic. Okay.
Thank you, Jabba. Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yes, sir, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. I just wanted to say another one I will always remember, because a certain caller called in on Friday and was telling one of the announcers about what Dr. Rowley said wasn't spiritual when he said about the go to hell. But I couldn't call him because the program ended, but I wanted him to remind the number of things that Satmaraj said. Because I don't know if you can recall the former Archbishop, what he called him about going to hell.
Yes.
Right? And I also wanted to say that when you get a chance before you close off, give me a bit of Luther on Watson Duke for a minute. If you could find that, the one with Luther with Watson Duke.
I'll try.
All right. Listen, Locks on, good show again. Yeah.
Hello, good afternoon.
Dominic.
Yes, ma'am.
Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Well, you said it all. I have nothing to say. But one thing I want to touch on, Dominic, this afternoon, Why is it the media in Trinidad and Tobago so? Not a single word from the media about the biggest case in the Caribbean involving the Attorney General. Nothing about Angel Logan and Jawad Ramdeen. On Friday was the matter, Dominique. You hear me clearly?
Yes.
The matter was on Friday, not a single word. Why does the public keep in the dark, Dominique? Is the media being paid not to highlight these things, Dominique? And I wonder who's being paid, who paid them? Not a single word, Dominique. I'm sure you must be in pick up on that.
No, I didn't.
Friday gone. Really? What's that, Dominique?
I didn't.
Well, right. Not a single word. The media was on Friday. Because you know why? Media don't have time. Let it be was Keith Christopher Rowley that have been blasting him. But one thing I could say to my member of parliament for Diego Martin West, Dr. Rowley, I know you, yes, and I know you and I know you. Dominic, if I telling you, that is a strong gentleman and he will be continue to be strong. You hear what I'm telling you about? Dominic, you figure that Dr. Rowley kids don't feel embarrassed here sometimes, the things that it does put out against Dr. Rowley. Dominic?
Yes.
Dominic, I didn't even wanted to tell you, at that time there was Attorney General. He didn't even want his daughter, I ain't calling no name, who is attorney at law. He and all try to kind of embarrass the young lady and all. You hear what I'm telling you about?
Yes.
But I'm telling you, they will always support their father. Don't figure they don't feel bad, the kind of nasty thing. But I will tell all you something. All you have to leave Keith Christopher Rowley. When it's time up and he decide to go, he go. Nobody will not force him out of office. Dominic, have a good one and have balance of the day. Enjoy it.
Thank you. You too. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dominic.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon.
You know, it's a one-way traffic within the media. As long as you could bash Dr. Rowley, say every and anything about him, it's all well and good. But Dr. Rowley must put duct tape and a zip on his mouth to answer people. This is what I witnessing right now. And Dr. Rowley, you see, when you have people who is deceitful in what they are about, you just find them out. Imagine you're putting out this statement about Dr. Rowley, but what was your statement before and after that? And I hear a little clip on one of the news stations, if you ever watching you. This idiot and this so and so. You understand what I'm saying? This is how Ishmael was talking about the Prime Minister. If you understand what I'm saying? Well, I want to tell people out there, you all are idiots concerning this matter. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. And I just want to read something quickly. Yeah, I want to read something quickly. So Mr. Ishmael is making a claim, a cry about vex about the U.S. and so on, and he wants investigation into where all the U.S. going. Let me read this letter for you all quickly that Inshan Ishmael sent to The Guardian in 2014. Who was in government in 2014? This is Wednesday, February 19, 2014. Yesterday morning, like every weekday morning, my manager contacted our bank requesting foreign exchange in U.S. dollars to pay our suppliers. Once again, she was told we could only get U.S. 2,000. Imagine in an oil and gas producing country, we cannot even pay our bills. Now our suppliers are threatening to sever our relationship. The question one must ask is, who is benefiting from the millions of foreign exchange dollars earned daily and where is it going? Attempts to have the Minister of Finance and the Central Bank Governor intervene bore no results. Who was the Minister of Finance then? Larry Hawaii. Who was the Central Bank Governor? Jawala Rambaran. For importers of vehicles and parts, the requested currency for trade is US dollars. And even attempting to use yen will cause a major loss in the conversion process. Thousands of businesses are on the verge of extinction. But don't worry, Carnival is around the corner so we can wind away our stress. Inshan Ishmael. This is 2014. Back in 2014 when oil price was at the highest. Gas price, high. Production of oil, production of gas, all-time high. All remember that? Back then, You know, they love to say now that the Point Lisas industrial estate is a graveyard thanks to the PNM. Well, guess what? The methanol plant was in operation then, all of them. Yara was there. All these plants were in operation. The steel mill was there. All of them earning US dollars back then. Petrochin was still in operation back then, the refinery. And they say Petrochin was the country's biggest foreign exchange earner. So how come in 2014, with all that US coming into the country, when the country's foreign reserves was over 10 billion then, it's now 7 billion. Mr. Ishmael didn't see it fit to call on the media to do an investigation to find out where all that US was going when it was flowing into the country. But now several streams of foreign exchange has dried up. He wants an investigation now. Far less than what we had in 2014. He didn't want investigation then. But you want now, eh? All right. Central.
Yeah, why, Dominic?
Yes, sir.
While Dr. Rowley sitting down in the palace there eating ham, lamb, and jam, and thousands of people in this country don't know where the next meal coming from.
Right.
You sitting down in our studio there sending up your pressure. Dominic, I keep telling you, 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 wrongs don't make a right by. Well, whatever the UNC did, probably that is why they're out of office.
I didn't only talk about the UNC this morning, sir.
Your best defense.
No, it's not about a defense. As I said before, I'm not defending Keith Rowley. I'm saying all of you hypocrites, you sanctimonious hypocrites, when it is these other leaders say the thing, come out and condemn them. Condemn them too. So now, instead of only talking about Keith Rowley, say generally all the leaders and them need to check them out. Don't only focus on Keith Rowley.
That haven't been said will not change the price of coffee or cocoa.
Exactly, and it ain't going to change the price of food in the market either. So I don't understand where you're going. But go ahead.
Dr. Rowley is the sitting Prime Minister. You can use that crass and undemocratic language.
Oh, so it's okay for a senator in the parliament, Anil Roberts, who's a UNC senator, to be talking, doing his live every morning, coffee and doubles, and talking about pum pum and this kind of thing. It's okay for David Naked, a senator, sitting senator, to call the Prime Minister House Negro. Is that what you're telling me? Central?
But Dominic, the Prime Minister is the Prime Minister.
That don't matter. Do not differentiate office here. Kamala Persad-Bissessar is a former Prime Minister. You all call her the Prime Minister in waiting and the mother of the nation. And therefore, don't tell me that when she is leader of the opposition, she could say a thing, call people Makome man, and you have no issue with that?
Yeah, but Dominic, we talking about now.
Yes, and Kamala said that in public. Keith Rowley, this was a private correspondence between Keith Rowley and Inshan Ishmael. If Dr. Rowley had said that on a public platform, by all means, I would say, rake him over the coals. That was private correspondence. You can't tell me that in private, Kamala will be saying nasty things too. You cannot tell me, absolutely, that in private, Rudal Munilal and the rest of them on the UNC bench don't be saying them kind of things. Because if you could put up a sign, hide your children from Rowley, are damn certain when they're in private, they say worse things than that. But of course, nobody willing to put it out in the public so that we could condemn them.
Well, if they put it out in the public, how will you condemn them?
Right, and if Inshan Ishmael didn't put that in the public, then this would not have been a non-issue. But he wanted to score cheap political points, and it was private correspondence. That is my point.
The man wants to have a level playing field where he can get foreign exchange to run his business. That is the whole crux of the matter. Okay, Dominic, have a nice afternoon, boy.
Thank you, Central. I hear you know, and I ain't setting up my blood pressure. Don't worry, my pressure very good. I have it under control. You see, I don't have that as an issue. But I want to know, how come it's only Inshan Ishmael going and shut down his business? So, but all the other foreign used car dealers in Bamboo, they're not having problems too. Why all of them not shutting off their business? And his business bigger than everybody else on? And he's the the used car king? So he had to shut down his business. But all the other parts, people how come Bobby's not closing down? Bobby's not having problems too? The Bamboo is the place to go for parts. All them other parts business, none of them closing down. But Inshan Ishmael, he's the only one closing down. And nobody else complaining. How come Babu and all of these guys from the used car dealers association, why they ain't closing down their business too? Rondell Fields and all of them. And all of them too? So how is it that Inshan Ishmael is the only man who ain't getting US and the rest of them getting? All right. Make it make sense to me, Essential. Please. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you, Dominic.
Yes, sir.
Dominic, you have to realize that these people and them coming to throw you off your track, boy. You can't Central and them talk that long when you have callers waiting for a long time to throw you off. You hear the nonsensical difference going on there? That's why they're not for one. She's the opposition leader right now and she calling people all sorts of this costing name and he want to come on there. Anyhow, I want to bring back your thought. You remember
some years ago, there was a talk show host who attached a television station right now, said that children were being shipped out of Trinidad and Tobago on the port in containers after the head was shaved. You remember that?
I remember that, yes.
You know who made that statement? All right, let me put here. The Bamboo Mouth made that statement. Today, I am calling on him to apologize to Trinidad and Tobago for that statement he had made and said that he had reliable information. When it was money that landed on the port with containers, I was working on the port as a senior clerical officer when this man was on radio telling people that, notwithstanding the fact that I had to thank Google, you and all the presenters that back the day in Seniswell who feel that it's so bright and smart, he only published piece of what took place in a private conversation with him and the Prime Minister. You see, Central London, it's wicked people. Israel can wicked. Israel can't face the people at Trinidad, but they go to tell them the nonsensical thing that you wrote here. Because of course people know things that they could tell them. Of course they know that in Seniswell is very disrespectful. And I want to be fair, not only to government ministers, to all public people that he can't get a hold on. He just called them all kind of names. I would like him now to tell us where he got that information that he sent out over the air on a radio station that children were being shipped out of Trinidad and Tobago in containers, reliable sources. You know, this is where the problem comes in Trinidad and Tobago. These fellas and them, according to you, feel the right and feel that they could get away with anything with sympathy. You hear one of them who against the Prime Minister? He could come low. Listen to what they do. Shameless at the end. Listen to Arnold Roberts. Shameless at the end. Right now, without people can't build it, can't come back to Trinidad and Tobago. True life sport. Don't you remember that? But
yes, Ms. Marchand.
And this man is on radio and television. And Central want to come here this morning to obstruct people with foolishness. These fellas and them mustn't get no play. Let them go on the radio station because what them doing, they just open no program. The facts that you brought out here today, why you think Central called and keeping you long with a set of purposeless? It's because we had said it's giving them right. All of them, including the one from down the Martin down there, including Watson too, who shamelessly adhered. It's the only part of the world people could be before the court and all that. Dominic, I want to let you know that I was listening and I heard a lady said that she was overpaid money in the grants from the government. And she is going to take it back because she said taxpayers' money is involved and it would be corrupt to keep that money because her brother had died. You know why I asked myself, Dominic? I wonder if Ramdeen and his partner hearing that. You remember, Dominic, the former senator was receiving money for their client? Dominic?
Yes, sir.
You remember that?
Yes, I do.
I wonder if Central and them that you listening to that voice. No. Dominic, this program is for facts, fairness, not people who come in here to defend a former Prime Minister, disgraceful attack on a Prime Minister. Allow the Speaker in the House who had was to go in a private room to do a contest, didn't know a document that was legal or not legal. You remember that?
Yes.
With the conflict of interest in buying shares, you remember that the Speaker in the House allowed a member to go and talk about
the opposition leader at the time, Terence, in a disgraceful manner, ordered that Central wanted this thought from coming out. These people and them, they don't care if the UNCPP government carry with Trinidad and Tobago, they're still going and get them no less than 15 seats. Check them. Them is not to get no more there. You will, in fact, continue, my brother. I will give somebody else a chance. I am fair enough to know. According to an ancient Israel, tell us where he got the information. Falsely evident. Children here were being sent and shipped out on the port in containers. Please tell me, my brother. I am willing to hear that. Because I watching your program and you very disrespectful. So you have no cause to be in any good mood of people of Trinidad and Tobago after you hit the real fact about that email and you only put out where you want people to believe and gather your sympathy. Thank you very much for allowing me this country.
Thank you, Mr. Potterspin. Let's see.
Logical liar. Hell is reserved for our old team. Hell is reserved for a man who rules a country and only his friends and family get preferential treatment. And you talk about two Inshan and telling the media while you admit that a prime minister has cussed up a citizen. You say, where's the context? Where's the context? So there is a context where a prime minister is allowed to cuss up a citizen. That's what you feel in your warped, deranged mind, Christopher Rowley. Well, if that is so, if there's a context...
That is Anil Roberts, right? That's not the part I wanted to play. I wanted to play the part where he talked about, hell is reserved for a man who governs based on pum-pum, as he says, right? And he goes on along that line. This is a senator, a sitting senator central, a UNC senator, every day doing lives and using that type of language. Let me ask you something, Central. Do you feel proud putting on your radio every morning to have your children who you said, they do it well in school and so on. Do you feel proud, Central, to put on your radio? I'm going to call the station every morning at 6 o'clock to have your children listen to Anil Roberts, call Stuart Young Smallpin, talk about accusing ministers of being homosexuals, to listen to a sitting UNC senator talking about grabby-wabby and using words like pum-pum and so on. You feel proud of that, to call Anil Roberts a UNC senator central? That is now, today, right? He's sitting in the Senate today, and these things that he says is now. So we ain't going back in the past. Are you proud? Is that the type of behavior we expect of a senator central? So the Prime Minister says one thing, I don't go all up in arms. But every day, Anil Roberts, sitting UNC senator, part of the lawmaking body of this country, going on radio, not just lives anymore, on national radio, and using words like that. And you're proud of that, Central? You ain't condemning that? That's the example you're supposed to set. You're proud to have your children and your neighbor children and your niece and nephew listen to that kind of talking? Or why you don't go now and pull up Douglas Politics Central and tell your children, come, let us sit down and have family time and listen to UNC Senator Anil Roberts speak about the Prime Minister. Let us listen to him denigrate the Prime Minister. This is how all must behave and all go out in public. And you hear Rowley name call, you see how Anil talk, all must talk just so. Tell your children that, Central. Hello, good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, Dominic. Dominic, on the thing of Inshan.
Yes, sir.
I feel, based on what Inshan is saying, it doesn't really add up. Yes, we know there's an issue with sourcing forex. And part of it, and other things that add up to that, because remember FIU and those things, so when money is transferring from one part of the country to another country, that is being followed and watched by the Americans. And Inshan does a lot of business in the Middle East. The Americans is watching that. But other than that, I think that he bad manages business and he bossy business. Full stop. Because he would get that. The thing so he's saying about hard to get US dollars, I have experienced it and it's not as that hard as he is saying. Yes, there are some difficulties, but not as that hard as he is saying. And then Ms. Kamala Prasad, the professor, who's now on the front page of the newspapers calling on an investigation or probe. Let me be very careful what the lady say. She's calling a probe into Al-Rawi's Porsche. And they put a tag price state and that million state. But I would like to see that Porsche that costs the millions. And then people have to remind her about her a member of parliament purchased a Benz for somebody with using the tax exemption from the government. It's look when she sit down in parliament, they look the man right there. Why should you ask him? And also, she would have had known about the minister who had 2 Range Rovers with the same chassis number. Like you fraud in the government of taxes. Once you do that, that means you're paying taxes for one. So you buy one, you get one free. I mean, and these things has been covered up. There was no probe, there was no investigation, there is no nothing. On top of that, Ms. Kamala Prasad says, you have no authority. And I'm telling Central, they're directed to Central, she has no authority. And then you just want to talk about, well, if the UNC do it and the PNM do it, it had not. I have never seen or heard anything unscrupulous things like that happen under PNM government. From Eric Williams right down here to Dr. Rowley. That you have a junior minister giving you information of corruption happening in a ministry, of corrupt practices. And you telling the minister to fix that? The same one they're pointing the finger at? You have a public servant telling you that the AG check him, something wrong with the way he's acting. You go and tell the man to go and fix that? What kind of leader are you? You scream and kick to defend this man until you had no other choice than to fire him. Until the man embarrassed you in the office as a prime minister. You had no other choice. You had to let him go. And you know what you did, Ms. Kamala Prasad, sir? The people who would have stood for righteousness and to cut corruption and to deal with it, you scold them, like fine them, something not to be wrong with. And then this fellow from Shogun and the Central want to come and say that if UNC do it and PNM do it, PNM have never done things like that. As a matter of fact, there was no other government that you could call from Robinson to Pandey and anything. You have never seen things like that. Yes, under Pandey, he was one of the first prime minister to get arrested for corruption. And he was charged. And he was found guilty. And then they went back to court to say that due process didn't follow. So he's back out. I mean, come on, man. This kind of nonsense, this thing has to stop. You cannot class the two parties together. They are totally different. And what I hate is the constant disrespect and attack of the office holder of Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. And people of letters has been silent on it. But let Dr. Rowley use any word that they may find that may be derogatory against Kamala Prasad, and all of them just come out and start to talk. And that we must be level across the board. If she is saying things, deal with her that, and because she's accustomed saying things and she's stirring up a racial hatred in Trinidad, calling people Oreo and all kind of nastiness, and the black man on the other side, all kind of nonsense. The people of letters ain't saying nothing. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Dominic.
Yes, sir, good afternoon.
I am David PNM Teeth.
Yes, sir.
Supporter Spain, you know me. I'm back in the Gayal. Long time I ain't calling and thing, you know. Mr. Central, I assume you have children. And the billboard that was put up by an MP, keep your children away from Dr. Rowley. You like it, eh? Invite the man home for lunch and thing, and he could eat with all you and your wife and your children and thing, because what he doing is something proud for the nation. Invite Philip Alexander home for lunch or dinner, because when he cuss and he say all kind of thing, and he say about Terrence, yeah, I think you push it up and thing, yeah, that is nice, that is morally correct. Invite him home in your house for dinner. You understand? And I am also asking you to, you could invite the senior counsel. the senior counsel who getting on about Dr. Rowley's statement. Invite you and all for dinner. You understand? Because you see, all you're so deceitful in this country. You understand? All of us see things one way and one way only. You understand? Central, they never call him. They never call him about the wastewater treatment plant. Right? Because you was blind when that was going on. You never call him about when the fire truck went down the hill and we paid 10 million of taxpayers' money to pull it up the hill. You ain't talk about that. You understand? You ain't talk about when we went with cash down Brazil to pay for a highway. And then we had, when we come out, we had to get back for the money. 2 people from the highway done make a jail already. Come out the jail. And you ain't talk about that because all of us only see things one way, Mr. Central. I could give you my phone number where you could call me and you could cuss me and you could do me what you want. I will deal with you on the phone. I afraid nobody from UNC. I afraid nobody from UNC. I am a political tyrant and I will deal with all you because you see all you feel since I and my partner who did blues and things off the radio, all you could come on the radio and say what all you want. But I am telling you, I'm back in the Gayal. And I know all your nastiness that all you did. You understand? All you do and things cool, all your bill and all kind of thing and you exceeding the price and all kind of thing. I know about that. I could talk about that. And Watson Duke, you is a fella. I am telling you, you must talk less because you had to go by the Catholic priest or the Anglican priest or whatever and do confession and penance before you come out and talk. Because I don't believe you are a morally corrected person. I don't believe that for nobody in life is correct. And I think because you have said things on the platform that is not correct. But you see, I will blame some PNM people because all you take what Duke and them say and all you run and give them 6 seats. You understand? And this nonsense must stop. It must stop. You understand? Because they are saying things that are incorrect. This fella Douglas politics. You know what Douglas politics means? Or you know what Douglas politics means? When in slavery, we used to have a fella called a mulatto. He was a person who didn't care. That was an African make a child with a white man, a mulatto. Douglas politics means that an African happens to make a child with an Indian. So he's a nobody. That is what is he. Douglas is a nobody. It's a Douglas politics. The word Douglas is a racial statement. It's a racial statement just like nigger. But all you're taking that from Anil and them. You understand? Anil must tell me how come you pay a man was paid to teach maths or English or what $30,000 and it was never taught under life sport. He must tell me why the woman who was saying for the thing called she name, how come she can't come back in Trinidad? He must tell me all that. You understand? And I am want to find out how up to now we can't find out who bungs Yukta. I want to know who bungs Yukta. You understand? Because I want to know, is it alleged that it's a setup bung? I want a question I asked him. Roger, talk to me. Tell me how much money you get when they close down Petrotrin. How much you get? Roger, tell me if you take the vaccine. Abdullah, tell me if you take the vaccine. Because plenty of people talking about don't take this, don't take that, and all you take it. Tell me. I'm the Gayal. I want to know. And every time you see Damien come out on radio now, outside now, and with the supporter Spain, it's fire. You understand? Afraid nobody. Mr. Supporter Spain are going and eat a callaloo.
Thank you, Mr. Teet. Jenny.
Hi, good afternoon, Dominic.
Hi.
1.1. 9.9. That letter that the learned FC would have written, what it did, in my opinion, cemented in my mind the deep-seated hatred that Indian people in this country have for people of African descent. And before people start to tell me it's not all Indians, because the all who don't agree, don't ever come out publicly and say they don't agree with the racist statements and comments made were about African people every day on social media, Facebook, all over, I have to say Indian people have a deep-seated hatred for people of African descent. With regards to me is this. You see people who like to always come out African people and tell you that they have Indian family and Indian friend and all that. There's no need to do that. They have friends and family despite whatever race they is. Because saying that will make them like you more and make them feel and accept you. Because Indian people don't come out on no radio nowhere and talk about how much African family they have, whatever it is. We people like to say that African people does do the same thing to one another. Granted. However, that doesn't give any other race to say the things and do what they're doing. We will fix our thing together because telling the Indian community, if they have more back down and fight down and backstabbing and all kind of things that go on in their community, same thing. But what they do, they hold together as one. When you see they coming at the games, the common enemy, which is the African people. So they will hold together and bite the tongue and stand up. And you know what they want in this country? They want political power. They have economic power, but have never been able to hold on to political power. And Dr. Vishnu Bisham would have said it best. In the Caribbean, why Indians have not been good and successful in leadership is because when they get in there, it's about nepotism, it's about contracts for their friends and family, giving people who don't have the qualification for the job, it's about cocktail party and first-class travel and all that. That's why they have never been able to hold on to political power for any length of time, while they may have economic power. And they realize with a person like Dr. T. Christopher Rowley, with the PNM now, that PNM will hold on to political power, so they're banding together to see how best they to degrade him and bring him down. And they have the help of some of our own African brothers and sisters, especially them, the intellectuals and them, who feel in order to be independent, they have to be nasty and vicious against people of African descent. You wouldn't hear them coming out and condemning what the SC right or whatever. You know what they will do? They will pacify it, but however, they will come down strong on Dr. Rowley for what he said in private, in a private conversation. So get to Mr. Watson Solomon Juke. Mr. Juke, you take him up people when they're in leadership, but you was the leader, the president of the largest public sector, public service union in this country, Trinidad and Tobago, and you before the court and 1 count of rape and 4 counts of sexual assault. What message you sending to young people? You, Mr. Juke, is a convicted criminal, having been convicted for falsely pulling a fire alarm in a Rima, which in some states in America carries a 10-year sentence because it's considered a terroristic act. What example you setting for young people? You, Mr. Juke, when the Auditor General is coming to Tobago to do her job, you represent as the leader of the union, you know, you say all kind of thing and threaten the woman, don't come here. What example you setting? When you stand up and you call Miss Batiste Primus all kind of name, all kind of woman who ugly, who in woman, and who like a stuffed rat, and who is vagrant, and who is this and who is that. You doing it in the space where it's a leader of a union and also the leader of a PDP party, a political party. What example you setting for young people? So when I want to talk right now, you before the fraud squad is investigating you. Based on money you have taken from PSA 1 minute, they say you're leaving his pension, then you say you didn't take it all that. What example you setting, Mr. Watson Solomon Juke? Who much more dirty and stink than yours, Watson Solomon Juke? And you say you want to be Prime Minister of this country? And that is your behavior. You want to talk about Dr. Rowley in a private conversation? All who want to talk about he shouldn't. Well, let me tell you something. He's a Prime Minister 24/7. If me and you talking in a private capacity, me and no Prime Minister, whoever you custom call him, I just call back whoever, and you tell me something out of time and I answer to suit, and you choose to take down place in the public, what I have to do with me being a Prime Minister? What I really have, who and who doesn't be good friend and out here is Mrs. This and Mr. That and leader, and them and the friend talking and they bust some costs in private, the line and all that. What I have to do with whether it's a leader, whatever it is, you're talking in a private space, because as you said, Dominic, what it is coming up, and they must say about African people in the private space. Because if they could have the supporters calling we Kobo, monkey, nigger, swine, dog, donkey, and they don't come out and condemn that, imagine what they're saying in private. So you see all of them, they're too damn disingenuous. And to all the black intellectuals, you see all you saw, because all they see, all they're better than we. So anything a black man say, a black leaders only have to pull him down because he's brighter than all jealous. Get over it and stand with the people because all of us want to say we're not together. But when we see all of us live, all they want to be together with that. But when we communities, let's be together.
Yeah, don't leave it there, Jenny. The adds up.
Leadership. Oh God, you know one are scared, but I want to tell them again. You see what Dr. Rowley said? KISS mines too are going, which will safely.
Thank you, Jenny. So, of course, the views expressed are not the views of the Street 909 FM, nor the management and staff. We're out of time, but not out of things to say. Join Sharon and Bruce in the morning for Titans of Democracy, and God's willing, Tuesday morning, I will be back. I think I'm going to revisit this conversation because I see in some comments here on the chat, I need to address something by some people. A gentleman by the name of Jerome Moses, is it? And a few others. Harry Prasad, Daniel. All they want to talk about racist talk and so on. Okay. Well, we could call a few other stations, but anyway, we're out of time. I'll have a discussion with you guys on Tuesday morning, God's willing. So enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I am out.